Hey family, how you doing today? Welcome to another episode of Transformed and Renewed. Yes, we are going to be talking about some practical steps that you can enhance, improve, just better your lifestyle today. So, if this is your first time checking us out, make sure you subscribe to the page because this is how you can stay up to date with what we are doing. And so, as we get started, I just want you to think about your lifestyle. And I even want you to think about last year or even a month ago. What did you do, or what were some things that you thought about doing or did? And you are thinking to yourself, I really want to change whatever I did. It could be you may not be consistent. You find that you may wake up and you may feel rushed sometimes during the day. You may even think about, why do I have a tendency to just eat, whatever I see? And, this is real talk. I've seen this even, from other people. I've done it myself in the past, but just anything you see that's free, it's like you got to get it because it's almost like if you don't, then you have to pay. And I think some people can actually become fearful of that, is that I have to actually pay for food. But I really don't want to pay for food, especially when I can get all this food for free. But when it comes to enhancing your lifestyle, you want to think about, what are things that are holding me back from really, being my best. And these are things that I think about myself, especially when it comes to just really mindset. And we talked about that last time, when it comes to mental health and thinking about what thoughts are really in your mind and what are you really doing to work on that. We know that some people may deal with different issues, and sometimes it may require some medicine or even drugs, so to speak, to help with that. Some people actually have something deeper than just, sometimes praying. And not to say that prayer is ineffective. Prayer is always effective, but we also know that, a lot of people don't end up, being set free or just delivered from things. Sometimes people may deal with a lot of things, and it's just a way of knowing how to navigate. But when it comes to lifestyle, this is what are different habits or just different behaviors that you may engage in. It could be also going to the club, it could be smoking, it could be drinking. These are part of just lifestyle habits. It could be just staying up late and then eating junk food or just fast food late at night, and you're just trying to either relive years when you used to do it, whether it was in college or just it's something that you do. These are, again, different types of behavior. Some people may say, what, I don't really see anything wrong with that. Some people may say, what, I do want to work on that. Regardless of how you may look at those examples, I'm sure if we were to all think about what are some lifestyle changes, I'm sure you can probably think of at least one. There's at least one. And what can you really do? Because again, you may say, I really don't know too many healthy habits. To me, I thought just doing something that made me feel good was actually good. But sometimes that may not be, especially if it can alter your mind or even cause you to have a certain perspective or even perception about someone or something else that is not true, but yet to you it's like, well, this is my truth and I want to keep doing this, even if it could offend somebody else or cause another person to feel attacked. But these are just things that, even for myself, I always think about, hey, asking questions about, if I'm doing this, is it affecting somebody negatively? Is it helping me to grow as a person? Is it also helping me to relax? Is it causing any, I guess, negative impacts on my life, whether it may be just negative thoughts. It could be I may start to look at people in a negative manner because of this behavioral habit. And so, whatever that is that you identify, because, I'm not asking you to do it today, you could, but at any point in time, just think about what are some things that you're doing. Like, have you really thought about things that you do? Um, Again, it could be different behaviors, and just asking yourself those questions. And once you do ask yourself that, being able to say, what are these really beneficial for me, so to speak, or are these some things that I probably should remove or even improve? And what are some of the things that you can actually improve upon? Well, I do actually have different steps or just some tips for you, when it comes to enhancing your lifestyle. And these are actually things that I do. And again, you've heard me say it before, but if you're new, I don't usually like to recommend anything if I haven't done it myself, because it's kind of pointless for me to share something with you and expect you to really do something when I haven't even done it. And to me, I always look at that in terms of, that's kind of, um, it just kind of, just fluff. It's not really authentic or real. And so I always like to share with you things that I do, because I want you to, realize like, hey, you actually have someone to I would say, hold on, let's see, going slow. Okay, good. Check, check, check. Okay. But I would say when it comes down to ways that you can enhance your lifestyle, one of the things that I do is meditate. Now, if you were to ask somebody who was not a believer in Christ, they would probably tell you, "Hey, you need to meditate. You need to just sit still and just try to be one with the universe." They may tell you something along those lines. For me, when it comes to meditation, this involves, again, as a believer in Christ, this is where I'm just really getting away from social media and just from any type of distractions. But I'm also really focusing on what have I been thinking. It's a conversation what I'm having with God, because I believe that God hears us, when we talk. But it's not only us talking, but it's also Him talking, communicating. And so for me, meditating is one, because it just allows you to not take in so much, because you may not realize it, but during the scroll, and that is actually a thing where you're just scrolling and scrolling, and sometimes you may not realize how much you take in. It could be even when you're at work, or just running errands throughout the day. Whatever you do on a consistent basis, if it's external that you're taking in a lot and you're never really thinking about, okay, how is this impacting me or affecting my mind, or is it causing me to really have tension or stress? Sometimes that can be a trigger, or even just a buildup of just a lot of negative emotions growing up, when you don't have that opportunity to really sit and think and just clear your mind. You feel like you always have to be on the go. And for me, that is one thing that has actually helped me to never get too busy to not do. Actually, that is a part of just my lifestyle, is meditating. So taking time, whether it's in the morning, at night, sometimes even during the day, where I'm just thinking and my phone may just be turned on its face, and I am just thinking, because I know that if I do look at it, I may see a notification. Not that it will distract me per se, but it just helps me to not think about it, number one. And that also, again, is a good way to exercise discipline by saying, you know what, I need to work on me. It may not really be what I may feel like doing, because I know it doesn't feel fun. It feels like I have to work. But again, this kind of goes back to, you, like what is going to really help you to be at your best. So I would say that is one. Another thing, obviously, if you've been following us, but if you haven't, another way that you can improve your lifestyle is by your nutrition. And this is one where, unfortunately, I can't just go into it in one session because it's just so much to really break down. But with the time that we do have, I will share that when it comes to nutrition, there are just a lot of things, especially when people eat food. Sometimes it's like, I want to eat this. It's going to fill me up because I've been thinking about it or because it tastes good. And that's the end of it. But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way when it comes to food and the body. There is so much more that goes on. Even though you may think like, hey, this is a quick transaction, I ate it, it's done. Actually, the food is not done with you because it's still in your body. But what is it doing while it's in your body? And that is something that, again, a lot of people may not think about, but it is important because this is, what can determine, health issues down the road, or who, is able to attain a longer life without having, so many health complications or dealing with a lot of health issues because of nutrition. Not that nutrition is the only factor, but it is a key factor. Okay. The types of food that you eat, is it calorie dense or is it um, calorie um, is it, dense in calories or is it light in calories? Meaning that do you eat this small piece of food and it has about 300 calories in it compared to eating something that's bigger and it only has about 150 or half of that. And so it's a matter of really understanding, okay, what foods also affect my mind, cause me to feel certain ways. Sometimes people may say, I don't know why. I always feel bloated. My face looks puffy. It just looks like I don't know. And a lot of times it can just come down to what you continue to put into your body and also not understanding the how your metabolism works, as well as nutrition with certain foods. And so, this is something that I do recommend, especially if you are not aware of, what you typically consume. It's important to really focus in on that because a lot of times, again, when it comes to a lot of health issues, it can be as simple as just straightening up, cleaning up your nutrition habits. And I know with that, several different layers in terms of knowing how to really improve, because you can say, well, okay, I know what I need to stop eating, but then it's another layer in terms of, well, is there a feeling associated with what you eat, and is there something that caused there to be this strong association to it? So again, like I said, there are so many layers to some of these tips and steps, but again, at least you know that they are ways that you can actually improve. Another way is, of course, um, again, if you've been following us, I've said this often, but again, if you're new, another way that you can really enhance your lifestyle is by moving. Yes, getting fit and active. And in terms of making sure that you're getting moving your body. So, are you sitting more during the day, or are you actually saying, you know what? Every so often, I really want to make sure I'm moving. Aside from exercise, but these are just again the little things that you can do can go a long way. Do I take the elevator or do I just take the stairs? Especially if it's a short distance, even if it's a long distance. I've actually taken the stairs all the way from the bottom floor all the way to the top. Now, by the time I got to the top, because I think it was roughly about maybe 10, I think it was 10 flights, maybe 15. But that is a workout. And I did that after a workout. So I did it before I worked out and I did it afterwards. And so I got my cardio in that day. You better believe me, it was all right. But that can be the difference, is what do you do? And those decisions can actually help you to really think, you know what, it's not as bad as I thought it was. Sometimes people may say, I don't really want to take the stairs, it's just too much. Or, I would just rather, drive over there, even though I know I could walk, but it's just more convenient. You know what I'm saying? It's more convenient. And sometimes we can easily justify a lot of things, especially when it comes to behaviors and how we've just done things with our life. But again, it's always thinking about, okay, you can get away with it now, but what could it cost you? Opportunity cost. What could it cost you in the long run if you don't even consider doing some things that can, even allow you to have a conversation with someone else? Could be a stranger, but you never know who you can meet and who you can even help from just saying, you know what, let me not be just only about me all the time. And so, again, these are ways, kind of just like a quick recap is, of course, meditating, just thinking and just being able to clear your mind. And then we talked about nutrition. Way that you can do that is cleaning up, focusing on whole foods that are going to, be more beneficial for your body. I like to look at it as whole foods, foods that are in their natural state, as being clean fuel for the body. So think about it. Would you put oil that has been, I don't know, 20 years old and has a lot of buildup in it? Would you put that into your car? Would you put oil or gas, or I should say gas that is smooth? It flows just smoothly, like no lumps in it. Because otherwise, if you have any type of buildup, that is going to slow up, and meaning it's going to slow you up from wherever you're trying to go. And then we talked about exercise, getting active, making sure that you're moving, as well as even going to the gym or even having someone that can hold you accountable. Because sometimes you may say, I'm just not really motivated. And of course, and it is very understandable because if you haven't been doing something, why would you be motivated to do it out of nowhere? Now, some people can just be motivated when you've been thinking about something for a while. That can motivate you. But again, there's nothing wrong with that because I may not likely be motivated to do something if I haven't been thinking about it for a while. So that's definitely understandable. Another bonus one that I will say is, always having a hobby or something that you can do in terms of improving your lifestyle. Now, for somebody, they may say, you know what, going to the club. For me, that's a hobby, and it's kind of one of those. I look at it in terms of, what if this hobby could it be enjoyed with someone else, whether it's your spouse or even your nephew or niece or kid or parent? Could you do this with somebody else and it don't feel awkward? And if the question is no, then likely we probably want to change, you know, the types of hobbies that we're doing. And so think about things such as going to the park and walking. This is, kind of similar to meditating, but just being able to walk and just see nature, everything that God created. And sometimes I do that. It's just taking a walk in the park, even just playing a board game, with family or friends, being able to spend time with people, and just having just wholesome conversations. Um, Not necessarily hobbies, but these are things that can also be relaxing. So think about hobbies or relaxing activities that are healthy and good for your body. And so these are just a couple of steps that you can take to really enhance your lifestyle. Really thinking about you in terms of, okay, what works for me? What is going to help me to really give my best? But also, what are some things that I need to do to continue to be at my best? And so, these four things, like I said, that I mentioned to you: meditating, nutrition, fitness, as well as hobbies slash activities that are relaxing. These are going to be some things that can really help you to really grow and also just take care of yourself. and also be the best that you can be. Again, there are several more that I didn't share, but those to me, again, if you haven't been doing those to the to your best advantage, these can be some good ones that you can start with, and even researching like, okay, let me think about, what foods do I really like eating that are actually healthy? What exercises do I enjoy doing that I don't get irritated, or I just kind of think I really don't want to exercise anymore? But what are some of those other exercises that, I actually really like doing, and even hobbies? So, again, these are just some things for you to think about. And let me know if you have any questions, because I do want to know how I can better help you. So, if you do think of anything, feel free to leave us a message, a comment, even send us a, direct message, and we'll definitely respond to you. Don't do any spam, but we do like to, really help the best way we can. And as always, if you enjoyed this, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Yes, that like and subscribe button. Some screens it may be red, other screens it may be a different color. If you recognize it, make sure you hit it with our logo. Okay. I can't tell you not to click and go on someone else's page, but make sure while you're here, you do that. That way you can actually get the latest updates, and you can be among the, I don't know how many people who are going to be aware of when we start to do our promo for consultation or coaching sessions. So you want to make sure, because we're going to have that ramping up quite soon. And again, we have some, I would say, prizes for those who actually respond and kind of follow through on the promo. Okay. And trust me, it's nothing that, when you think about it, it's going to be something that you never thought of. Okay. And it's also going to be something that you're like, okay, okay, I see you. I see you. So make sure you stay tuned. And the way that you can do that is by liking and subscribing to the page so that we get updates. So whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, because that's pretty much all I can tell you in terms of staying up to date. And until next time, I will talk with you later.